Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here to do the reading for the lovely sign of Leo. Leo, if you're watching this reading, you could be a Leo sun. It's more than likely you are. So if somebody says to you, what sign are you? You more than likely say Leo. That's your sun sign. But you could also be watching this if you have Leo in your moon or Leo rising, or even Leo in your Venus, sort of looking at love language, Leo style. So if you're unsure of why people can do that, and don't forget we cross watch too, so we might watch somebody we're interested in sign. If you're interested in digging a little bit deeper, you can go and Google a natal chart or a birth chart, put in the details of your birth. If you have the time of birth, that's even better because you'll get your ascendant or your rising. And then you can download a report, which will give you where all the planets were when you were born. What does this mean? It means you could watch a whole heap of different readings. So while Leo is your sun sign, you might be able to watch Virgo because that's your moon sign, or you may be able to watch Aquarius because Aquarius was in your Venus when you were born. And in my sign, Venus was in retrograde in my sign when I was born. So that's not very good for relationships. So what you need to do is decide if you want to find out more about astrology and start there. It's really interesting. But anyway, I'll leave you with that. I pulled all my astrology books out and I thought I haven't really sort of got back to it as much. I sort of learned what I wanted to learn, which would help me do the tarot readings, and then I sort of shied away a little bit. So I have a stack of books on astrology. But it was always funny because even though I'm a Capricorn sun, I never really related to a lot of stuff about Capricorn. There were essences of that really made me feel right, but there was a lot of stuff that really didn't explain who I was, and now I fully understand why. So, yep, so Google natal chart, birth chart, and put in all your details. It's very interesting, a lot of fun. So let's move into your reading. We are going to read from the Universal Celtic Tarot today. Just quickly, if you are after a personal reading with me, I do still offer personal readings. My website is not up at the moment, so you would have to book through me, and you need to send an email to the AussieGoddess@gmail.com, and then I can let you know what arrangements can be made and what I offer. Sometimes I think it's better to have the website because you can actually see, but I think the website is still available if you want to go over and have a look at what readings I offer. If you're interested in joining us in the channel or taking on a membership, everything is under the video, so please grab it. Love to have you on board, but it's what you need from me. There are a stack of videos up there already on reading tarot, so if you're interested in them, you can go and watch them, but you would need the deluxe membership to do that. Okay, is that everything? I think so. All right, let's get into this reading. Shuffle the bum off the cards. All right, so we're starting this one out with the Queen of Cups. Now, interestingly enough, in the What's Cracking reading today, we have the Queen of Pentacles coming through. Now, each queen has their own set of attributes. So, you know, the Queen of Cups for me often represents the mother figure, the nurturer, the loving person, someone who's really, you know, generous and loving. It can represent Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio because they are the water signs and very often more equated with emotions. Talking about doing your natal chart, the one thing that's really good to look at is what signs you have dominance in your chart when you look at your chart. So, you know, even though you may be born like me, a Capricorn, you may have a dominance of fire in your chart, which sort of maybe changes the way your Capricorn nature would be. So the Queen of Cups for me is someone who's loving, very caring, often someone who's quite psychic or insightful, could represent, for example, a counselor or a psychologist that you're seeing, mother figure, as I said, or someone who just loves you greatly, who really does show how much they love you. Definitely. Could be a tarot card reader too. All right, so we have the Two of Cups coming out behind that. Interesting energy. There is a love offer here. That's a past love offer. Yet we have the High Priestess coming through full. Look, that is a really, really easy, straightforward opening to a reading. For me, that is somebody from your past here is coming in to offer you love. Now, this could be a past love because we have that Two of Cups there. So I feel like you may have been around with this person before. Not necessarily, though. It could just mean that you know this person from your past. Now, very often, people say to me, I don't have anyone from my past that I want. And I say to them, but it could be somebody you went to school with. It can also mean past life. So don't get too stuck on the past, because sometimes we have these connections with people that are so out of the world we can't explain them. So let's get into this. But I feel like there's some sort of past energy coming through with this person. I do have the Hierophant with the Death card, both major arcanas, with the Ten of Wands and the Ace of Swords coming around again, and the Hierophant. Both of those were in the What's Cracking reading today. There seems to be some sort of completion. So, you know, for example, if you were in a relationship, a marriage, or even a twin flame connection where there was an ending, there has been a lot of healing, a lot of change taking place, and some sort of rebirth here, which has led you to an Ace of Swords moment. You know, it's really interesting because, you know, if you've gone on the twin flame journey where you understand how much it racks your life around, it really stirs up a lot of stuff within you, a lot of stuff that needs to be healed. And I feel like that journey in itself can take, you know, a number of months or years. But the first period of time that you're separated for, there's that all that rejection, anxiety, abandonment stuff all comes up first. So you get in a total wreck space before you start pulling it all together and start to understand. And then you sort of fluctuate between the loving of the person and the anger for the person and the emotions and the wanting to be back together and all that. And that first period can be very, very difficult. But as I said, psychologically, there's a psychological explanation as well. So if you're unsure, abandonment issues, rejection, all of those sort of things can help you understand why you've been on the journey. But what it does is it raises everything from your childhood. It raises everything about you that you've kept hidden in your shadow. And when you start to realize all that, you start to realize you need to work on those issues to be able to come out the other side. That can take time. Some people seem to do it fairly quickly and other people take time about it. Some people forever stay in that state. But here we have clarity. We have some sort of ending or some sort of turning around, and we have the ultimate stability here. So whatever you've been through here, whatever happened, perhaps with this person or has happened to you in the meantime that you've healed from, it's given you clarity on what you want in your future. All right, so we have the Seven of Swords. That's to me about self-sabotage. Eight of Cups, turning your back on something here. And we do have the Five of Swords, which for me is about turning your back on something as well. So there's a very strong energy here of turning your back on something, perhaps the ending of something or the ending of a situation. So it's almost like you've healed from something and now you're ready to move away. All right, Seven of Wands coming through with the Temperance card. There's a lot of balance here. Eight of Swords with the Knight of Swords. Letting go of victim mentality here and choosing a new pathway. Okay, so I can see exactly what's going on. You know, sometimes when we come out of a relationship, especially if we haven't been the one to finish it, although there might be a bit of, it may be that we have finished it, but we're still regretting. So we may have finished it with somebody we felt wasn't committed to us or really didn't have the level of interest in the connection. And sometimes when we move away, we can be blaming. We can blame the other person. We know that they've made the decision, but we're going through what we class as that grief and loss process. So if you're ever trying to understand why you go through those ups and downs and ins and outs, it is because of that. So you may go through sort of, you know, feeling really good one day, and then the next day you feel really down again, and then you come good, and then you feel down again, and then finally you start to find you have more good days, less bad days. There is some sort of energy here that something has created all of these things within you. And I feel like you're turning your back on all of those now. So to me, this is the coming out the other side of a healing phase. And there seems to be some sort of choice here. So you could have been dealing with somebody here. And again, it could be somebody you're dealing with that isn't the person that's coming in, but it feels to me like you've got someone returning here. So somebody could have left you to do that healing. You've done all this work and everything, and then they just breeze back in like you're just going to pull it back up again and go, yeah, sure, no worries, which some people do. But then, of course, the other person hasn't done any healing. So before you know it, they rake all that stuff to the surface in you, and your background doing the same thing as you were doing before, wondering why you were back in the same relationship. But there is a really strong feeling here that you are sort of coming out of a negative frame of mind. So if you've been coming out of a relationship and you keep doing the poor me, poor me, poor me, then it's like you're starting to get clarity around the way you think about things. Something's perpetuating for you, absolutely, and it's about to close out. So whatever this is, it's like coming out the other side, seeing the sun and coming out of a storm. All right, so we have the Queen of Cups. So maybe you've got to a point where your self-love is the best it's ever been. Maybe you're realizing now that you don't want to be treated poorly, and you want to make sure that whoever you're with loves and respects you as a person. Because I feel like here you've got some sort of partnership coming towards you here. And we do have the past card. So it could be that you've got a soulmate or a person that you're connected with from a past life, or this could be a past person. But whatever it is, the High Priestess is here with the Fool. And to me, that gives this beautiful energy of really wanting to have a new beginning, but being very intuitive about it this time, like really relying on your inner resources to understand who you are, who the person is, how far you come, and how you don't want to be back in that same relationship that may have been a little bit toxic, or where you may have not had the attention that you really deserve. So whatever it is very beautiful, and I'm saying that you will know now because you've dislodged a lot of that energy around you that held you back from really seeing who you were. And we talk all the time about the shadow side, but that's why a lot of twin flame relationships are there, because they help us to uncover all of that stuff that we've lived with for a very long time. And it may be as simple as low self-esteem, low confidence, you know, poor relationship skills, especially if you've been raised in a family where you weren't loved or nurtured, you can have very poor relationship skills. All right, let's pull you an oracle card. There it is, Soul Child. How lovely is that? Card 14. Soul Child. You get to go back and do it all over again, but this time around you get to love yourself first, and then you will understand how you can attract the right person. All right, rebirth is upon you. Beautiful child of the universe, you have prepared for new life, and it's starting right now. The divine moment of rebirth, which occurs after a period of struggle or intense inner work and physical transformation, has arrived. Enjoy getting us to know your new self. It's a new day, a new beginning, a new you. Like an adventure enjoying the discovery of a brand new world, take your time to explore the increase of your light, power, and love. You've undergone the death of the old order. Nothing is as it was, nor will it be so again. You had to learn detachment, to release and let go over and over again. I love it. In so many ways, you've experienced inner death as you bravely surrendered that which no longer serves your growth this lifetime, even if you once loved it dearly or couldn't imagine life without it. Deep inside, through that process, your soul has been gathering energy. It has been drawing it away from old forms of your life and relationships, from your old beliefs about health, finances, work, and what used to hold meaning for you. It has done so in order to feed this new soul child carried within your body. So that beautifully, 14:44 on the clock, that beautifully resonates with the reading. So I'm feeling whatever you've been through, you're coming out the other side with this new version of yourself. Are you willing to accept what you've accepted in the past? I feel like that's it. Thanks, Leo.